there in your comfort zone. You're sleeping in the bed. You're just relaxing. You got it made. Da 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 da. I said, well, you come up here. Let's swap places for a while. You stay up here for about a month and see what you feel like.
What she
But
say?
but I didn't. I wanted to say that, but I didn't.
Right. What? When did she say we were coming up there? Did she say?
She didn't say. She said, I think me and Derek's going to come up there in a couple of days. That's how she left. I said, well, I said, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I said, I can't. And he said that, she asked me, said, you think you're going to be able to handle that insurance, doing the inside? I said, well, I know, and she puts it off on me. Everything's off on me. She said, when Derek was telling us about it before, doing it that way, said, you're the one that said no. I really don't, I vaguely remember you mentioning it. But I told her, I said, well, I hope that, that if I have any questions, that Derek can help me.
Yeah, you can call me and I'll help you in any way.
And she said, well, I don't know if he will or not, the way you treated him. I said, what?
What's you mean?
I don't know. I really don't know. And she comes up with some of these things. I keep quiet because I don't want to start nothing, But I don't know. It's just, well, I've had time, which see, we mentioned it before, but I had mentioned it and she didn't say nothing about it, but I thought, and then I checked, I Googled it, and it said that if you buy a house, it's best to stay in it like 2 years to 5 years to make a better turnaround on it. And so she said, well, I think, that I'm not at home up there. Said, I'm not happy up there. I don't like the curvy roads. I don't like the mountains. Said, I know the mountains safe. Said, but she said, I think after we get the house finished, we're going to put it up for sale. I said, well, that's fine. And because but then again, she puts it off on me. One of the reasons here is so she, her mom getting up in the age, Pop getting up in the age, and we could be up there, that's before Gary come up here, that we'd be close enough if something happens, we could go to him.
Right.
But now she says it's all me.
Yeah, I told her because after seeing, like, the house payment, the lawnmower, the loan, then everyday expenses, just the bills y'all all have together, I told her, y'all could get in a lot better payment if y'all sold, for sure. Because y'all would, I think y'all could, right now in the market, I think y'all could get, with the house fixed, I don't see why y'all shouldn't be able to get $230,000, $235,000 out of it.
That's what I'm thinking.
And y'all would be able to clear, maybe $60,000, maybe $70,000, and then roll that over into a new house, and you wouldn't, even if you bought something at $200,000 new, like not newer, but like a new home, whichever, not brand new, you know what I mean by new.
Right.
You wouldn't be financing even if you rolled off just your profit over to a new home. Y'all's payment shouldn't be that much. Just versus, if the market does take a shit, like with everything going on, if we go to war or the inflation.
They said that but today the second day of the government shutdown.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about. I saw it. I've been sort of trying to keep up with it because it gives me something to watch.
Right.
Because otherwise I'm sitting here, looking at the walls and staring at the walls, and and I keep staring. I'll look at the floor and, like, if I see like Bailey, 5 or 6 hairs, I'd go get the vacuum cleaner and vacuum the floors.
Shit.
Yeah, I have to, or I'll go crazy. But she doesn't realize that. She says I'm up here in my comfort zone, and she's not in her comfort zone. And anyway, but I wish I told her, I said I'll come down there, we'll go shopping, we'll buy buy you some clothes. That way, you pick out what you want. They fit.
Right.
Versus getting up here, that you've lost some weight, and who knows? All your clothes up here might be too big for you now.
Yeah. Right.
So why waste the time of that and just go ahead and get you some more?